hustlers, road players, tournament champions. Hear the stories, get their advice, learn about their lives. Our host, Joey Ryan, brings you an inside look at the professional pool player. You're listening to the Pool Player Podcast, brought to you by Pool Scene 365.
Hey guys, Joey Ryan, Pool Player Podcast, brought to you by Pool Scene 365. Thanks so much for the support for the podcast. I really appreciate it. Today's guest is a special one, two-time Mosconi Cup MVP for the United States. Also won the U.S. Open 8-Ball Championship. He's won Derby City, 9-Ball, as well as Master of the Table, and a number of other titles. And there's a lot more in store for this young man. It's Sky Woodward. So some of the things that we discussed were really some advice for players out there and certain things that Sky does with his game that could help you, as well as some of his best shots and his best tournaments and really what his goals are for here. And so I think you're going to really like this episode. If you want to support the podcast, the best thing that you can do is subscribe. About 100 more subscribers to go, a little over that, and I'm giving away a Q-Tech Propel Jump Cue. The thing jumps amazing, and it's pretty much brand new. I tested it a couple times, and I'll just send it out to one of my subscribers. Also, I have a Patreon account. You can go to Patreon, and you can sign up to be a patron with a monthly donation starting at just $3, and I put exclusive content out. I just put a 10-ball break video out on that Patreon, and I had somebody get back to me with incredible success using the things that I put out in that video. So the other thing, you can just send PayPal donations if you like. Everything that I get from the audience on this goes right back into the podcast and making things better. So we got some big things in store. Thank you again for your support. And now on to Sky Woodward. Hey, Sky, thanks so much for joining, man. Thanks for being on the podcast. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing great, and I'm really excited to get to know you a little better. So let me just start off and ask you, how did you get started playing pool?
Well, man, it was like my dad played pool and took me to the pool hall with him and stuff. And then I was just like, everybody said, when I picked up a cue, I knew how to hold it and make a bridge and everything the right way. So I just loved it from the first time I went to the pool hall with him. So my parents got me a table, and I played every day, and as much as I could. And that's how it started.
Was there something about the game, I've talked to people and they're like, I like the geometry of it or the colors of the balls. Was there something like that kind of jumped out at you and really made you fall in love with the game?
Well, then I just love to play it. Now I understand the game. So now I love it because it's such a tough game, and it's so competitive. And really, I like it because it's so tough. And then it's never the same. Every game is pretty much different. And the competition, there's so many good players that it's just whoever gets one little lucky thing in that one match to win. So it's just because it's so difficult, really. I think that's what it is, because I've always been that way. I like things to be hard and tough on myself. It kind of motivates me.
It's like you're always up for a challenge, and the game's very challenging. When was the moment? Do you remember thinking, hey, wait a minute, I can be pretty good at this game? Was there a moment like that?
Oh, well, ever since I started, I wanted to be number one. I just wanted to be the best, and just be a pro, do it for a living. And I just probably 14, I started noticing I was one of the best around where I was. And then 16, I actually won a big tournament in Vegas. So after that, really, it was a big men's tournament, 128 people, and I actually went out there for a junior tournament, but they only had 3 people, so they gave us the option, like, do you want to play in the men's division, or do you want your money back and just hang out in Vegas? And I wanted to play, so I played. They let me play, and I ended up winning the tournament. So
Wow.
From there, I just kind of knew I could be better, and I just gradually got better and winning more tournaments and traveled more. So yeah, probably 14. I probably knew I could do something.
That's pretty ridiculous that you went out to play in a juniors tournament and they didn't have it, and they were like, "Oh, there's a men's tournament. You want to play in that?" And you're like, "Oh yeah, I'll just snap that off."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So, what about on the professional scene? Was there a particular tournament where you just did really well, or you upset some top pros and you were like, "Okay, now I've arrived on the scene." Anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I always lived close to the Derby City Classic, like 3 hours from there. And I always went. I normally play the 9-ball division, but once I got a little older, I played all of them. But yeah, 9-ball. When I was like 17, I had to play some good players, and I like kept the match close and raced this 9, and I beat a few, and I was winning like some pretty good bar table events and beating some good players that I didn't even know that they were. I mean, they were like, really good, but people would tell me afterwards, and I was just like, oh man, I didn't even know. But that's cool to know. But now, yeah, probably just So I was the Derby. The Derby was when I was younger is what really made me notice.
So, what do you do outside of pool? Do you have any hobbies or anything that you do for fun outside of pool? One of the things when I talk to people, I want to get the average pool fan kind of an inside look at the professional pool player. And in some cases, I've found out some really interesting things about people, like Alex Pagulayan loves to read and recommended all these self-development books. I'm just curious, is there something that you enjoy doing outside of pool?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I love to hang out with my family, with my kid and my fiance when I'm down from pool. Um, and then other than that, like a hobby to do, um, play golf for sure. I love to be outside anyway, so golf is what I do in my spare time. If I'm free or something, I'll go at least hit some golf balls or something. But I try to play around here or quite often if I can.
So you mentioned the family, and I think I hear your boy in the background. I'm not sure, but I hear some stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, is that him? So
yeah.
has being a dad like changed your perspective about the way you think about pool, or your approach to your pool game?
Yeah, I mean, he makes me want to work harder, of course, and he makes me want to win. Even more, like not just for myself or for anybody. I mean, he gives me another reason to win.
So one of the other things I try to do with the podcast is I try to pick your brain a little bit and get information out that could help other pool players. So I'm just curious, do you have maybe one or two pieces of advice for maybe those players out there? I mean, I know hard work and determination and really putting in the time, but for someone who wants to do that, they want to put in the effort and the time. Do you have any advice for them in terms of becoming a better player?
Man, people ask me all the time. The best advice I feel like I can give is, you said it, is really put in the time, and you gotta dedicate yourself to be at the top of any sport. There's no way you can play 3 days a week, and get there. It's just no way. Um, but I would say if you could make yourself do it, or if you don't mind it, do drills. I mean, personally, I've never been able to do drills. I just can't sit there and set it up, do it again, set it up. It's just never been for me. So what I feel like for myself, what I know I got to work on, I put it into um, while I'm practicing running out. I'll put it into my stroke to make sure I practice that. But yeah, I'd probably say put in the time and play people that are better than you, and that's, I think, because you can always learn and pay attention to everybody, because even people lower than you know some things that you don't know. Yeah, that's probably best advice I could give.
So I know during this pandemic, it was tough to get out and play, tough to practice, and there weren't a lot of events. But now that things are starting to open back up, give me an idea of what it would look like if you're preparing to go to a tournament, maybe in a week, and what kind of stuff would you work on? How would you do that? Would you play the ghost? Would you just, try to set up different scenarios, roll the balls out on the table? What does your practice regimen look like?
Oh, I just roll 12 balls out on the table and practice running out in order, just with 12 balls. So there's a little more traffic. And that's all I do. I just keep doing that over and over. Try to do it for at least 2 hours a day, up before a tournament, as long as I can get away. Yeah, that's about it. I don't really practice my break a lot until I get to the event or something, or maybe the day before I'll break some, just to try to get it dialed in or get a little repetitive stroke going. Yeah, just 12 ball, just simple.
I love that because, the first interview I ever did was with Mike Davis, and one of the things he recommended was 15 ball rotation. But I got to tell you, when I tried to do that with 15 balls, man, that's a lot. I know the Filipinos do that all the time, but man, it's tough to run 15 balls. So I like that 12 ball and run them in rotation. I think I'm going to try that. So thank you.
Yeah, I feel practicing 15 ball, there's just it's a little too much traffic. 12 ball is good because it's a little more than 9 ball or 10 ball, but it's not too crowded. Still got to work around it, but yeah, personally, to me, I think 12 ball is perfect, but 15 ball is tough anyways.
Yeah. Are you able to beat the 12 ball ghost? Like, have you ever tried racking 12 balls, breaking them, and trying to beat the ghost?
Yeah, because breaking 12 balls is easy. Normally you're guaranteed to make 2 balls almost every time. The corner balls shoot in, so it's easy. That's kind of why I just throw them out there, because it's pretty much like playing 10 ball ghost. It might even be easier than the 10 ball ghost. So that's why I throw the 12 balls out there. If I'm practicing breaking or something, or playing the ghost, I'll normally play like 10 ball or something like that. But I never play the ghost unless somebody just wants to watch me do it, and then I'll do it.
So, of all the events that you've won, tell us what was your biggest victory, or what you consider like your best title, and take us through that event.
Like singles event?
Either one.
Well, I have 2 very memorable events. The Derby City was definitely the best singles event I've ever won. It was an unbelievable feeling. When I was younger, I won the 9 ball and the master of the table that year. When I was younger, when I was going there just to get autographs and stuff, I was a kid. My dad was just showing me all the pros and stuff, and I just told my parents, I'd always tell them every year we'd go, I'd be like, I just want my banner up there. I don't even care about getting the check. I want my banner up there. It'll always be there. And I'd tell them one day, you know. And finally, I achieved it, and that was probably, I mean, that was the biggest win I ever had. And honestly, when I won the 9-ball, if you go back and look at my draw, I had like the toughest draw that, I mean, I've really ever seen. I mean, I never had an easy round from round one. It was like 14, I think 14 rounds, 15 rounds. Never had one easy draw. My last 5 or 6 matches was Filipinos. My first match, I started with Ruslan Shinnikov. So, I mean, it kind of tells you right there how my draw went. It was pretty rough. But other than that one, the Mosconi Cup, of course, twice, 2 years in a row, winning that. I've always loved, you know, team events. Like, honestly, if I could right now, I would play APA. I love team things. I always loved team sports. So winning that, you know, and winning MVP those 2 years was unbelievable, because it's just a great feeling to know that I did everything I could to help my team win. So those are the two that strike me the most, you know, for winning best. I mean, I don't think I'll ever top those.
So, you know what's going to happen now, Sky, is you're going to have a whole bunch of people that are going to be hitting you up saying, come join my APA team, right?
That's fine. They better find me a fake ID and stuff. I'll be there.
Oh, that's funny. So you recently had an exhibition match with Roberto Gomez, and I was fortunate enough to commentate on that match, and I thought you played spectacular, especially given the fact that you hadn't been playing much. We even talked before that, and you told me, yeah, I haven't really been hitting a lot of balls. And you get up there and you didn't just win. I mean, you won handily. How do you assess your play from that match?
You know, I tried to find a little rhythm, and I mean, I did, but also I'd planned on playing Roberto. So before that, I played a tournament in Dallas, a tournament in Missouri, and then I played, you know, just the challenge games the couple nights before the event. So I was hitting balls pretty much every day. I mean, I'd take a day off in between the tournament and then next one, and just I think hitting balls those days kind of got me in stroke. I played good. I mean, for how much I played really good. I feel, I just didn't feel like 100% comfortable down on the ball. That's probably the best way to explain it. But I played good somehow, you know, because I'd only been playing bar table. Everything I'd played was bar table. But I guess I was just so ready to play. I haven't played a match like that in a long time, so it felt good. You know, I was kind of excited to play. So maybe that has something to do with it, you know?
Yeah, well, I tell you what, you did not look uncomfortable. You looked very comfortable during that match. And in fact, I was commentating. I don't know if you got to hear any of it afterwards or whatever, but I was commentating with Mark White from the UK. And he's probably one of the biggest Sky Woodward fans in the world right now, because he just really loved watching you play. And so he asked me, he knew I was going to talk to you tonight, and he has a couple questions for you and wanted to know if I could ask them. Is that okay? Can I ask you a few questions from Mark?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So he wants to know, these are a little different. They're not necessarily pool questions. So he wants to know, what's your favorite Netflix series?
Shameless.
Shameless.
Yeah, you ever seen it?
No.
It's about this, I think they're from Chicago. It's about this, they're messed up family. Like, just messed up. Freaking
Sounds like Ozark. Sounds like Ozark.
Yeah,
You know that one?
the dad's always drunk. He never makes it home. He always passes out in the ditch somewhere or something. He never makes it home and stuff. It's just, I don't know. I really enjoy it. It's kind of a funny show, and and it's a big family in like one house, and I don't know. I really enjoy it. It's funny and it's easy to get into, I think.
Well, we're gonna have to check that one out. The next question he had was, "What is your favorite music album?"
Favorite music album? I don't know about the album. I can tell you the artist. Well, actually, I can tell you the album. Tyler Childers. Just, I think he's great, and he's a Kentucky boy. But his album, Purgatory, however you say that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the best one to me.
Well, I don't know if Mark's heard that one, but since he asked the question, we'll have to make sure he gets a copy of that and checks it out. So
Oh yeah.
The third question he had, and this is his final question, is he wants you to recall your favorite shot that you ever hit in a pool match. And that might be hard, but I was thinking about it. And I have a few in my pool career, even though, I'm not a professional pool player. But do you have any favorite shots that you hit in a match?
I have a few. And it goes back to the three tournaments I just told you about. When I was in the finals of the Derby, I was up 8-7, and I get ball in hand off his break, and I run down, and I'm on the 5 ball. I'm on the 4. I shoot the 4, and I jack myself up on the 5, and the 6 only goes like in the side pocket, and I got roll it, being jacked up, go 2 rails, perfect speed back to the side rail, and I get straight in on the 6. It was perfect speed. If I go any further, I'm hooked. So that was my favorite, because then I just shoot the 6 and roll across 7, 8, 9.
Hey, Sky,
Or 7, 9.
Remind me again who you're playing against there.
James Aranis, Dodong.
Yeah.
And then Mosconi Cup, the first year we won, 2019. 2018, right? Yeah, 2018. We won, or the last match, or the first match of the last day, I played Albin. Albin break and runs all 4 of his games. I break and run 3 of them, and the other game, kind of had a little safety battle, and I ended up winning the game. So 4-4, he breaks, pushes out, and I give it back, and he kicks and hooks me. So I have to jump, and I jump it in hill for us to get on the hill that year. And that was probably the only thing that came in my mind. As soon as I seen I was hooked, I even said it out loud to myself. I said, I'm going to spear it in. I could feel it. I just knew it. So that was one of my favorite. And then 2019, when I played filler to win the Mosconi Cup. It wasn't hard shot or nothing, but when I got a chance that last game, and I had to shoot the 4 and just draw back up table and shoot the 5-9 on the side. That was definitely one of my favorite, even though, it wasn't a hard shot or anything, but just with my adrenaline pumping and stuff to win the Mosconi Cup and shoot the winning 9 ball was definitely one of my favorite shots. So those 3 are definitely my favorite ones.
That's awesome. I'm so glad I talked to Mark, because hearing you describe those shots is really cool. It kind of takes us right back to that moment and kind of reliving that. So thanks so much for that. So I have this little segment that I call Speed Pool, and it's kind of like a fun little game I play. And I'll give you a name of a pool player, and you have to come up with the first word that comes to your mind. Okay?
Yeah.
You good with this?
Yeah, they might not be good words though, No, I'm just kidding.
No.
I'm just kidding. They'll be all right.
Yeah, I think they will. But just the first word, and then we might dive into 1 or 2 of them and kind of see why you said that word. Okay, you ready?
All right.
All right. Dennis Orcullo.
What word would I use?
There is a 30-second time limit.
Winner. He's a winner.
Winner. Love it. Shane Van Boening.
dedicated.
This is hard, right? It's not easy.
It is kind of hard. I was trying to think of a real good word for Dennis, but I don't really know.
Well, I like the fact that you're using real words. Like sometimes I'll say Dennis and somebody will say RoboCop. And then I'll say, the next player and they'll come up with his nickname. I'll say Efren and they'll say the magician. So I like the fact that you're coming up with original words. Okay, the next one, Jayson Shaw.
What word would I use? Like aggressive, I guess would be a good word.
Yeah, that's a good word. Jeremy Jones.
Genius.
Joshua Filler.
Never misses.
That's not one word, but that's true.
Yeah, you may give you a word?
Yeah, go
ahead.
Yeah,
or is that one good?
All right, that's good. Yeah, let's talk about Josh Filler. Is he do you think he's pretty much on top of the world right now in terms of, best players? You think his talent level's just right up there? What do you think?
He is definitely one of the best players in the world. I mean, it shows. I mean, look what he did. What was it last year? No, it was 2019, right? 2019, he just won everything. He won everything. Unbelievable. Great player. I just think, he shoots so freaking straight. He doesn't have to be in line. You can't leave him a shot from anywhere. So it's hard to play people like that. I think, and he just, with his shot making ability, he scares everybody. I think it's hard to play somebody like that when you can't leave them anything. Like even in any game, even when he was learning one pocket, I mean, he plays it good now, but even when he was learning one pocket, you can't leave him a shot. And he just makes any shot, and then he can run balls. So really, he's fearless. That's probably the word I should use, fearless.
Yeah.
But yeah, he just doesn't miss nothing.
Yeah. So when I said Jeremy Jones, you said genius, and you've had the chance to work with him now this past Mosconi Cup, and I believe the one before too. What do you mean by genius? Tell us a little more about that.
Man, he can work with anybody and can break you down and just tell you like what you need, what you're doing. Even like the top players now, if you work with Jeremy, I mean, he'll point something out to you that you're doing wrong and you don't even realize it. And it's so it's unbelievable that he knows every aspect of the game, the right ways to do everything, the shots on the table. Man, I don't know. I mean, I would never say that I know one thing about pool more than he does. I would never argue with him about anything about pool.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. And so has he taken and broken down any parts of your game and helped you kind of rebuild them? Have you had that opportunity to work with him like that?
Last year when I played Dennis that race on the big table 9 ball. Saying it was because of COVID. I had not been playing. I felt like I could still be ready, and I wasn't ready. I did not perform well in that match, which it happens, and it's my own fault for not practicing. But yeah, I went to his house the week before for like 2 days just to work with him just a little, just to try to, just so I could hear, like, if you just tell me I'm doing something, I can fix it. Just I need to know what it is, and I can fix it. So I just went to his house and was wanting him to just tell me what I'm doing, just for a little advice, so I could be a little more ready. That's the only time I really worked with him. And then for Mosconi Cup last year, when when Billy came down to have a one-on-one with Jeremy, I'm only live 5 hours from there, so I drove over to hang out for a few days, and I watched them work, and I just paid attention. So even like Billy says, same thing. Like he's unbelievable. Like different shots, it's different. Like it's different every shot, how to hit the ball and everything, and he just knows the right way every time.
Yeah, you kind of get a taste of that when you listen to him commentate as well. He's one of my favorite to listen to on the mic because he is so knowledgeable, and I love that. I wanted to give you a chance, Sky, to shout out your sponsors and those that are important to you and kind of help you on this journey.
Yeah, Mucci Q's, Kim Station, Heartland, Railbirds TV, Outsville, Rasson Tables, and is that it? Yeah, and then just would like to thank, of course, my family and friends, and for all the support. Always thank everybody. Without y'all, of course, I would not be where I'm at.
So, are you going to get yourself one of those Rasson tables?
Yeah, actually, I do have one.
Oh, do you?
Now, yeah, I have the Ox.
Is that the same one they use at Mosconi?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, actually, it was. It was the one we just used.
Yeah. So, do you like the way that table plays?
Yeah, for sure. I really enjoy it. I ain't gonna lie, the first year I played on it, I was like, man, this table's so different. So different. And I'd always heard like the side pockets are tougher. I'm like, man, I've always been good at shooting in the side pockets. So I was like, man, it can't be different. But it is. The side pockets play just as tight as the corners on those tables. And I really like it. They do play. They play true too. I believe. I don't know. I think it's the perfect in between. It don't really play short and it doesn't play long. It pretty much just plays the right way.
They're nice looking tables too, I have to tell you.
Yeah.
So I've been in your Facebook group for a little while now, and I really enjoy it. And, sometimes I'll do one of your razzes, but really I just like when you go live and the way you talk it up with everybody, and you kind of make everybody feel like you're their best friend, And so I wanted to give you a chance to tell people about your Facebook group and what it's all about.
Yeah. Chalk it up with Sky Woodward. I just do razzes on cues and balls and stuff, and plan on getting some other things soon, and just kind of do it, just give everybody a chance to win something for cheap. It's always nice. I mean, I play in other stuff all the time in other groups, so I understand. And yeah, it's like, man, I've actually made a lot of friends from the group. A lot of people message me now, and we talk actually quite frequently. So it's been pretty fun. And in the group, I do Q&As sometimes, especially like after a big event or some big win or something like that following week. Haven't done one recently. Ain't been much going on, but sure I'll do one soon for something. So yeah, it's just a fun group, just stuff you can win stuff, and if you don't want to play, then don't. You can just get on a live or and talk, whatever. It's a lot of fun. It's just something for people to to enjoy, and something for me to do, and still interact with all my fans and and people.
All right. So now I have a tough question for you. Let's say that you tomorrow were picked as the Mosconi Cup captain for next year. Who would your team be? And you can include yourself.
Who would my team be? I got an answer?
What's that?
I got an answer?
No.
I would say Shane, myself. You said I could pick myself, right, even though I'm captain?
Yes, you can pick yourself, of course.
Shane, myself, Justin Bergman, Billy.
That fifth one is always tough, isn't it?
It really is. It's the toughest.
Yeah.
I don't know. The fifth one, I would have to just say, the fifth one had to be a wild card for me. I can't pick one. I don't know.
All right, we'll let you off the hook there.
Thank you.
That is tough because there's a number of, like, look at Chris this year. So many people criticized that pick, and he turned out and played really well in that event.
He played good. Yeah, he played good.
A few years ago, people did the same thing with Tyler. He showed up and played well. And so that fifth pick is always tough. And so, when people were giving Jeremy a hard time about Chris, I'm like, let him, let's see what the kid can do. And he gets out there and he plays pretty well. So, yeah. So what would you do? Would you have like a qualifier or something, a little tournament for, maybe 4 or 5 guys, see who made it?
I would probably, no, I wouldn't have the people play for it because, it's like some people that might perform better there might play the other guy and that guy have his number, so if that guy beats him and then goes out there, he don't play as good as the other guy out there. So no, I would probably look at the last couple big tournaments, like coming up, like close to Mosconi Cup, and I'd probably pick the guy that's performing the best in the big events right before then.
Yeah, that sounds good. So you pick it. Just to recap, it'd be you, Shane, Billy, and Justin, and then basically play the hot hand who's performing the best in the events, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
So do you think the United States has fallen behind Europe really as a whole? And if so, what can the United States do, not just for Mosconi, but really for pool in general, to really catch up?
I don't think it's that we fell behind or anything. I just think, I mean, people can take this wrong. I don't mean it wrong ever, but I think it's where Americans are more rounded playing pool because we play all games, and a lot of us played the all games good. Just look at like how many like Europeans. I mean, they only really play, like rotation, straight pool and stuff. But they're all starting to play all games, especially the ones that come to America a lot and stuff. So it's they're starting to get more rounded. But no, I wouldn't just say we're behind. I think it's just because it depends how you look at it. If you just look at the game of rotation, maybe. I guess I wouldn't say we're behind. I'd just say that kind of smarter because we all play one pocket and banks, and we know, oh well, why not just try to play it safe here instead of go for a hard shot when they probably will go for a hard shot more than we would because of that. I think, but I mean nothing bad towards anybody about that. It's just I don't know. That's probably how I would say it. I don't think we're behind. Just think more rounded, and they just play more one game.
Yeah, I think that's pretty reasonable. Nothing wrong with that. So Shane Van Boening has been the top U.S. player for years, and he's pretty much the consensus number one player in the United States. Then there's you and Justin and other players kind of pushing right in there, behind him. But there's a little bit of a gap there. What do you need to do? Because kind of seeing the way you played against Roberto and knowing what you're capable of, I had this thought in my mind, like he could get there, well, what do you need to do to get there to be the top American?
Put the time in. Just play. I don't play enough. I haven't played enough, because of COVID. So I think that's the only way. That's the only way for me to get there, because I know I can. I know I can get there. Just got to play more. I can't go without practicing and then expect to, perform at my best or get better if I'm not practicing all the time. So I think that's the only way. That's the way to get there. Of course, kind of like starting out. That's the only way for anybody to get better too. It's just same. Still now to this day, I still have to put in the time.
What's the craziest thing you've ever seen playing pool? Crazy story, something happened, anything like that?
I don't know. I've seen some crazy losses for sure on my end, on other people's ends. I don't know. I just say some crazy losses.
What's do you remember a loss that you had that you were like, this was just nuts, there's no way I should have lost this match, and something nuts happened?
Yeah, I had one match really comes to mind. It was a bar table event, but I was playing Warren Kiamko. I wanted to go play in traffic after this match, I swear. I'm up. I don't remember what I was up. I was raced to 9, playing Warren Kiamko. And I was up pretty good, 8-4 or something, going to 9. Comes back hill. And I break. I don't have a shot. I play safe. I play a good safe. And he's got to kick 2 rails, and all he can do is hit it. And if he hits it, he scratches probably because he can only hit like the top of it. But there's a ball on the side rail, and it's literally like a ball off the rail. Like you can maybe fit a ball underneath it. He kicks 2 rails, 1, 2, back up all the way up table underneath this ball, and the one is this far from the corner pocket. I mean, it's literally 6 inches, 5 inches from the corner pocket. And he goes 1, 2 underneath this ball. There's only like a ball width under it. Hits it and cuts it all the way across the other corner when he was trying to just go 2 rails into it. And then runs out, beats me hill. And it was the grossest thing ever. And it was that whole tournament. After that, I played somebody else. And hill, I'm dead out. And I think it was the 6 ball or something. I got a small cut. And the ball skids like into like the half diamond. So now I lose instead of being in like the final 3 or something. So it just wasn't meant to be. But that was a pretty rough one for me to swallow, I'll tell you, for sure.
Jeez.
I don't mind losing, but when things like that happen, you're just like, what the heck?
Yeah.
I mean, what did I do? Do I really got to have something or stuff like this happen?
So I'm curious about the skid, because I've had some of those at the worst times too. Like they never happen at 0-0. They always happen at like 8-8 in a race to 9. What do you think? Because you hear about chalk on the balls. You hear about, for some reason, I think it has something to do with my particular stroke at different times. Like maybe when I'm feeling the pressure. What is your take on ball skidding?
I got a funny story about that. You said it could be the chalk. it could be your stroke. So I like to aggravate. So Jeremy Jones and Corey Dole, I got them going at Mosconi Cup because I've heard them bicker about it before, and I told them, I'm like, hey, you know what causes a skid? It's this. And then I'd tell the other one this, and then they started arguing about it. No, Corey says it's the chalk. Balls are dirty, and Jeremy says it's the stroke. It's in your stroke. Of course, the chalk can do it though, because they're dirty. But Jeremy says it can be because of a bad stroke, and I believe it can be both. So I think those are, the only reason. And I don't think there's really any stopping it. I don't think you can stop a ball from really skidding. I think it's going to happen when it's going to happen. I've realized, it happens more when you have a bad stroke, and there's no way to always have the balls cleaned. So really, I don't think there's any way to prevent it. It's just going to happen.
Yeah, I just know that at times when it's happened to me in an important match at an important time, if I'm honest with myself, that's one thing I try to do when I play pool, right? Because, the tendency is to blame the waitress or blame the chalk or blame this,
Yeah.
blame that. And then you don't work on anything because you didn't lose because you dogged it. You lost because something distracted you or something happened. So I've always prided myself in not doing that, right? So if I'm truly honest with myself, every time I hit a ball and it skid, I think back and I'm like, my mechanics were off. And I can't put my finger on exactly what it was, but I know I didn't stroke that ball the same way that I stroke, all the other shots that don't skid. So I think it is something to do with the stroke there. And of course, like you said, if the balls are all gummed up and there's something on there, yeah, I'm sure that can cause it too. But I think stroke's got to play a big role in it.
Yeah, because I've seen multiple times balls just be cleaned, and then that next game I've seen balls skid. It just, I don't know, man. I try to figure it out too all the time, and I'm like you. I think about it afterwards, man. Did I really hit it with a good stroke or not? And I'm like, maybe I didn't. But then sometimes I'm like, man, I really hit that with a good stroke, and it skid a half a diamond. Like, what the heck? So I really don't know, but I think it's a combination of the two. That's my opinion. It can be either one at any time.
So let's say the internet didn't exist. People hadn't heard of Sky Woodward and any of the other pros that are out there. And you were going to go on the road for a couple weeks and try to make some money. Who pick 3 players to take with you on a road trip?
Is this to try to make money, or is this just, for a nice, fun road trip and to try to, people don't know me or us?
So I ask this question, and when I do, people tend to ask that question as well. And, if you think about it, when you go on the road with somebody, there has to be, some kind of camaraderie, right? It has to be somebody that you enjoy being on the road with. So when I asked like Alex Paguline, he was like, Francisco Bustamante, we're like, we get along so well. He cooks, I eat, I cook, he eats, that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that has to play a role in it, but also you got to know that the person can get the cash too. So pick 3 players that you could get along with, but also, will bear down and get that cash.
Billy, for sure. Cause we're like brothers, and he can get the cash, and we always have fun. So Billy for sure. And then Justin Bergman. Because we've all seen him play for the money. And 4th one would be Chris Robertson, because we need a photographer in our car.
I love it.
I'm just kidding. I hope he hears that.
No, he can play a little too. Yeah.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. Nah, Chris is pretty good. I like Chris.
Yeah. No, Chris is cool. He actually, last time he came to Arizona, he was going to stop by my house and play a little. And I told my son about it, and my son was super excited. If you ever come out to Arizona, you got to come by and play some, because you met my son before we started here today, and he's getting into pool, and so he's so excited about you guys. He watched the whole Mosconi Cup and everything. And so Chris, something happened. He couldn't make it over, and my son was really disappointed. So I got a message from him today saying, "Hey, I'm going to be in Arizona. Does your son want to play a couple games?" And I was like, "Man, that's just super cool that he thought about that." Just
Yeah, no, he's good. He's a good dude.
yeah.
He actually just texted me today. Yeah, he's like, man, I got a new number. Save this one. I'm like, all right, I got you. I got you. I'll call and give you crap another day.
So Sky, you've been Mosconi Cup MVP twice, and obviously that means you can handle the pressure. And I think that's a big thing that kind of separates a lot of pool players. There's some, when the heat's not on, they look like the best player in the world, but then all of a sudden they're under pressure and they kind of break down. And so I wanted to see, for those other players out there that are trying to improve or get better, do you have any advice for like your mental approach in handling pressure?
Not really. I mean, man, when you feel the pressure, I mean, obviously you got to take deep breaths. You can't let your heart rate get too high. Then you get jittery. I'd say, yeah, breathe in your nose and out your mouth. I mean, and then some people, you just, no matter what, they can't handle the pressure like that. But ever since I was a kid, ever since I started, like I said, I've always loved that. I love there's pressure in this game and the competition. It's just always loved it. Ever since I was growing up playing, I loved the pressure, and I played better under the pressure. So I just enjoy that part of the game. So I don't really know if I would say there's really a way to get over that or not. I would just say deep breaths is the best thing. And I just think some people, no matter what, they can't handle it, and some can. And and the more times you're in that position, the more times you're in that pressure position, you will get better in those spots. But if you're not in those spots, like, I ain't gonna lie, listen, right after COVID, when they had the Texas Open, we ain't played in forever. I was feeling the pressure. It was I definitely was. I was feeling it. Felt weird. I was like, man, I miss this feeling. But man, I was nervous, but it was fun, of course.
Yeah, it's like the best and the worst feeling at the same time sometimes. If you get up and perform, it's the best, right? Because you faced it. You faced that challenge of all that pressure and you overcame. But then other times when you succumb to it, it can be pretty frustrating. But I was hoping that you would say that, because I find that now with, I'm not opposed to handicap tournaments. I'm not opposed to cap tournaments. I think there's a place for that. But I think, now with the different handicap systems that we have in the country, there's so many opportunities for players to play people of their same skill level that you don't often see people step up and play against better players. And I think that's a big deal. And I think it's hurting a lot of people's games, if they're not stepping up and playing against you guys at the professional level or even top amateurs. They're just playing against their buddies all the time that all play the same speed. So I'm curious your thoughts on that. Do you think that maybe with so many handicapped and capped events, that's kind of maybe helping some people to not really get in the pressure and improve their game?
Yeah, I mean, of course, and this kind of goes back to me. This kind of goes back to the question you had: the Europeans and the Americans, if we're behind. I would say that's part of it. The handicaps. We have all the leagues. We have all the handicap tournaments. They have the Euro Tour, race to 9, straight up race to 9. When I was there was like 10-year-old kids race to 9, no matter who they played. You either learn to run out or you don't. I mean, you just lose. So, the handicap tournaments, when you get spotted the 5-7 in the break, I mean, you make it on the break. You break, have 1-5 combo. You learn to make one shot. So, I think handicaps definitely have hurt us a little, but some people don't care to get better, don't want to. They just play it for fun to get out, which understandable. And sometimes I enjoy just going somewhere, going out and not taking my cue, just beat some around with people or mess around, just hang out and watch but yeah, I just think the handicaps has probably got us a little bit, but some people get satisfied. You got a 9-4 race and you're 4. Hey, man, I can win 4 games, but if you play even race, you can't. So people get satisfied. They can win the tournament as a 4, so why not win? And then maybe lose. I can stay a 4 in the tournament. I mean, I got a better chance, which I understand. Of course, we're all trying to make $1, but the handicap's beating us up a little.
Yeah. Like I said, I think there's a place for it. And, as a better player, we can choose to step down and play in a handicap tournament and have to give up a lot of weight. And I do that sometimes, but like when I met you at the Texas Open and we talked and I was playing Billy, actually, I don't know if you remember that match.
Yeah.
And, for me, I'm a huge underdog to Billy, but I did all right. I won some games and it felt good.
Yeah.
And it built my confidence a little, and I kind of felt like maybe if a few balls rolled my way, I might even put some heat on him. And so that, to me, the confidence boost that you get as a player stepping up and playing against better players is huge. And it really helps you deal with that pressure. I think that's just my opinion. I wanted to ask you about your trip up to when you played Roberto in South Dakota, and then you went over to Wyoming. And when you were up there, someone posted a picture of you and I shared it. You were playing a guy in a wheelchair and you got in a wheelchair and played against him.
Yeah.
And it was like you were just up there having a blast, mixing in with everybody and just doing your thing. Are you just truly having fun doing that, or you really trying to reach out to the fans out there? Tell us about that.
I mean, of course, there's there's a time for work and a time for your fans and to mess around and interact. So it's like people ask me all the time, why don't you come play our tournament? Man, nah, it's a weekly tournament. It's y'all's tournament. I mean, I have my own tournaments. I'm not coming down here to try to win y'all's event or whatever, y'all's tournament. Y'all play, I'll come hang out or something. And like that guy, he was like, he asked me right when I got there, introduced himself. He's, hey man, he said, I'll play you race to 3. He said, but you got to play out of my wheelchair too. I said, all right, you got it. Let's do it. Just, and he said, I love that, man. He said, because, I have to play out of it and I want, and you can see how it is too. I said, yeah, man, that's fine with me. Well, he said, it'll even it out. So I said, all right, it'll be fun. It'll be fun no matter what, So at first he was getting in a regular chair and then he would give me his chair. And then the people there, they had a spare chair in the back. So I ended up getting my own. So he didn't have to keep switching, but it was fun, kind of like that. Just, it's a time to interact and have fun with everybody. So, just enjoy it and stuff. And then when I play Roberto, it's when it's time to get serious, and even after the match, we were playing challenge games and it was right back to the fun part, so just gotta know when and when not to, have fun and when to be serious.
who won that wheelchair match?
I won.
You got him? Okay.
I got him. I
You got
got him.
him. Awesome. So I just have to say, on behalf of, so many fans of yours out there, I'm a huge one. Don't change, because it's just so cool to see you out there kind of mixing with everybody and doing that. And, we need more of that, I think, in pool. One of the things I say sometimes is, we can have a league night and there could be 150 people in a pool room, and we show them a lineup of our Mosconi Cup team, and they might not be able to name everybody. And that's sad. We need to find a way for you guys to kind of rub elbows more with the average pool player, so it becomes more of a spectator sport,
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I played that guy, and then we played the triples versus doubles. And right after that, because he was telling me, he said, "Do you think Billy will play me like that?" I said, "Yeah, man." I said, "Billy will." I said, "Ask him." And he asked him, and Billy played him the same way out of his chair. So it was pretty cool. I don't know who won out of theirs, but no, it's just, gotta enjoy it always with everybody.
So if you were only going to win one more tournament the rest of your life, which one would you want it to be?
Well, probably the World 9-ball or the U.S. Open. I'll take either one.
Yeah.
The U.S. Open 9-ball. Yeah, I'll take either one.
Why not like the World 10 ball?
I don't know. It's just not as like, it's not got as big of a name as like the World 9-ball. I won or did you say World 10 ball or U.S. Open?
I said World 10 ball. I was just wondering why 9 ball as opposed to 10 ball, since it seems like a lot of stuff is going to 10 ball now. Like that seems to be the game of choice for people. Do you prefer 9 ball over 10 ball, I guess?
I don't really care. I'm gonna play whichever one. I don't know. I like 10 ball. It's a little more challenging. The break's harder. Because you see now the break in 9 ball is getting so easy for everybody. But man, it seems like everybody's starting to break 10 ball good too. So I don't know. I just probably I would like to win the World 9 ball. Yeah, I just think it's a little more like it's got a little bit bigger name, kind of like the U.S. Open 9 ball. Then you got the U.S. Open 8 ball and 10 ball. I just feel it's got a little bigger name. Like I won the U.S. Open 8 ball, but it's not the U.S. Open 9 ball. Not to me, got the same name, but just not as big to me.
Yeah, and the US Open 9 ball is like, if you look at the field in that, it's huge. And the players that showed up to that thing, same with the International Open, the International 9 ball Open. It's like a who's who of, top players in the world, so I can definitely see the prestige there. And I'll tell you what, I'm pulling for you. And I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me tonight. You've been very generous with your time. I heard your boy back there, crying a little, and I saw your fiance come through. So I know you got a lot going on, and I do appreciate you taking the time, Sky. So I want to give you the opportunity to kind of give any final thoughts that you have for your fans out there, anything at all you want to share with people.
Yeah, just thanks to my sponsors again, Mutual Cues and Kim Station, Heartland, Rasson, Altsville, Real Birds TV. Thanks to all y'all and my family and friends for all the support. Without y'all, I wouldn't be here. And just everybody, can't wait to see everybody after all this COVID stuff's done. Can't wait to get back out there every week competing. But yeah, thanks everybody.